greetings, it's Iain from RTO here. Welcome to a marathon on a Wednesday, and we've got another request. Either from Zeb or Christopher, definitely their sort of thing, and the band is Amorphis. Now, I don't know much about Amorphis, I must admit. I've heard of them. So this was the first time I'd really dived into their catalogue, and it was a roller coaster ride. Some of the stuff I liked, some I wasn't too keen on. So who are they? They're from Finland, and they were formed in 1990 and founded by, this is the bit I hate pronouncing names, especially Scandinavians. It's Jan Reichberger, plays drums, Tommy Koivusari, whose vocals and rhythm guitar, and Esa Holopainen on the guitar. Now, they're a death metal act on some of their first albums, but later they evolved, a bit like Orpeth, into this progressive metal, folk metal, and they frequently used the Kalevala, which is an epic poem of Finland, as a source for their lyrics. They've made 14 albums, so you know I'm not a very keen lover of death metal, so I think you're going to know where we're going to go with this, but I've enjoyed listening to them, and I do like their more progressive and folk metal albums. So 14 albums, so we'll get a cracking. So coming in at number 14, we have the debut album from 1992, and it's called the Karelian Isthmus. I'm going to just call them by their first names, or there's new members of the band. So on vocals and rhythm guitar, we've got Tommy. Esa is on lead guitar, and bass player is Olli-Pekka Lane, and Jan is on the drums. So the first track is called Karelian. It's a nice instrumental thing. I do like the Scandinavian instrumental intros. Some nice guitar work from Esa. I like that. Then we have a track called The Gathering. Now, musically, it's great. Good old-fashioned riffs, but yeah, it's the grunting. I never see the point of grunting. It's not singing. I don't know how people can listen to it all day and every day, and that's all they ever listen to, because it's pretty tedious for me. I know there's lots of you out there that love it, but for me, I just don't find it interesting enough. Okay, it's a shame because it's a good song, but I can't understand what they're singing about. Grail's Mysteries. Quite melodic, but you can sort of understand the grunts a bit. It's my favourite track on the album. I don't mind that one. Warrior's Tale. Some very erratic drumming on this. I didn't get on with it at all, to be quite honest. Black Embrace. Quite good melodic guitars in this. I don't mind it. Until we get... yeah. The Exiles of the Sons of Ulysses. No disrespect to the band, but I just don't like noises and growling. Lost Name of God. It sounds like Jan's drumming away and everyone else is doing their own thing. It was a bit busy. The Pilgrim, I just couldn't understand the lyrics. I do like the guitar work and the drumming, the bass. It's all great, but I just can't understand what they're singing about. Misery Path, it's just a loud noise lyrically. I know, as I've said, a lot of people like death metal, but yeah, I just didn't get onto it. The Sign of the North Side, some nice guitar work in this, great solo from Esa. That was the last track. Okay, as I said, grunts I don't like, but I like the music on this is really good, and I think that because of the grunting I get distracted. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 4 out of 10. Okay, coming in number 13, we have the second album, called Tales from a Thousand Lakes. Tommy, Essa, Ollie and Jan, but joining them now is Casper Martson on keyboards, and additional musicians, Viol Toomey on clean vocals and speech. I love it how they call ordinary singing clean vocals. Bit different. Okay, the first track is an instrumental called 1,000 Likes. I love this. It's got some choral, it's got keyboards, some nice guitar work. It's great. I like that. Then we've got Into Hiding, sorry. I don't mind this one because you get the clean vocals and speech. And the combination of the growling, it's quite good. It's like a response, and it does work, and I think that's quite good. The Castaway, my favourite track on here. Musically, it's great. The keyboards are brilliant. The guitar work is good, and even the growly, grunty vocal is bearable on that one. I don't mind that one. First Doom, another really good track. Musically, it sounds good. Some nice keyboards. The adding of the keyboards into this has really bolstered the sound. Black Winter Day, the growl's a bit off, but it made up with a lovely keyboard sound on it, and the guitars are really strong musically. Drowned Mind, I love the start of this. Some nice guitar playing here from Tommy and Essa. The vocals sort in the foreground. This is more music. The grunts there, but it's more emphasis on the music. In the beginning, I like this. The grunts and growls actually fit in with this one. It's a very good track. Again, some lovely guitar work. The drums are great. Forgotten Sunrise, it's a very mythical sounding thing. Nice keyboards. Don't like the vocals, but everything else I like. To Father's Cabin, my favourite track on here. The keyboard bits are fantastic. The middle section of this song is really good. It's the vocal that clean vocals are really interesting as well. Very, very strong track. I like that one. And the last track on this one is called Magic and Mayhem. Musically, it's a mixture of Black Sabbath meets Dream Theater. It's not a bad track, actually. I do like this one. This album's not too bad because it's not just all grunts and growls. We've got some singing, some nice spoken word. It's good playing on it. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 5.5. Okay, coming in at number 12, we've got the third album. And it's the first to feature a majority of clean vocals by new vocalist Paisley Colsneen, and the first with drummer Pekka Kalsari, who placed Iain. And it's the only album that features Kim Rantala on keyboards, and it is called Elegy or Elegy. So it's Essa, Tommy, Ollie, Kim Rantana and Pecky on drums. Better Unborn, good track. It's that real symphonic metal sound. Love the vocal on this. Terrific track. And then we get Against Widows. The keyboards on this are lovely. That symphonic sound. I love the symphonic sound. Some great vocals here as well from Paisley. Pasai. Good track. The Orphan. The most melodic song I've heard from this band up to date. Obviously I played these in order when I listened to them. It's a great solo on this from Essa. Absolutely killer. Then we get a track called On Rich and Poor. My favourite track on here. Great bass line here from Ollie. Really drives the song along, and you get this lovely keyboard that sort of dives through that bass line. A good mixture of the growl and the normal vocals on here, and it works. I think it's very, very good track. My Cantel comes next. Having the keyboards in the band now does give them an extra fiddle to their bow, as I say. Proper progressive metal here. A lovely keyboard swell, some great riffs, good track. Cares, this is okay. Too much growly. That's all I'll say about it. It's singing, but it sort of spoils the song because it's a nice melodic song. The Song of the Troubled One, great bass line here, and a bass solo. You don't get many bass solos, but on this, Ollie does a great bass solo. Weeper on the Shore, acoustic guitars, yes, but the growling doesn't fit with the acoustic guitar. And then we've got Elegy, good song, some nice piano on this. It's a nice mini sort of epic. The growling didn't need to be on here because it's such a nice track, but hey ho, I don't make the decisions. And then we get Relief, an instrumental. I like this. Some stunning guitar work here from Essa. Absolutely brilliant, absolutely, I love that. And then we get an acoustic version of My Cantal, which is quite nice and I like it. Yeah, a mixed bag here. There's some really good songs on here. The clean vocal songs are fantastic. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 5.6. Okay, coming in at number 11, we have the 7th album, Eclipse. And it was the first time that current vocalist Tommy Utzens was featured as a singer. So it's Tommy Utzen on vocals, Essa and Tommy doing the guitars. Bass is now at Nicholas Etavari. Keyboards is Santeri Kallio. So the first track on this, and also on back on drums is Iain Reckberger. So first track on here is called Two Moons. Good track. Love Iain's drumming on this. Some nice keyboard work and Essa's guitar work. The solo is great on that one. Really enjoy that one. House of Sleep. I just love the guitars on this. It's just something about Scandinavian rock I like, and that's in that track. Leave Scar. Next. The keyboard reminds me a little bit of the Stranglers, believe it or not. It's quite gentle in place as well. It's sort of good old-fashioned progressive metal, gritty vocals. They're not growling, they're gritty, and you can understand what's going on. Born to Fire, another good song, strong vocal here from the new singer, Tommy. Just nice guitar work from Essa as ever. Then my favourite track on this one, we've got Under a Soil and Black Stone. It's all down to the guitar work between Tommy and Essa on this. They sort of really intertwine. It's a mostly instrumental, but with the odd bit of vocal in it. I do like the drums in this as well. Excellent track. Then we get Perkel, the God of Fire. Hope I've pronounced that right. Some good vocals on this. Lovely keyboards, that mythical sort of legend sound. You know, it's growly as sort of ruins it, unfortunately. The smoke. I love the acoustic guitars on this one at the beginning. And then we get a little bit of growling. It does fit. Same Flesh is next. Interesting start. I love the tones of the keyboards and the guitars working well together. Even the vocal fits on this as well. Absolutely good track. Brother Moon. This has sort of got that Renaissance start. Bit like, you know, Blackmore's Night. But that's as far as it goes, because it goes straight into some great metal. So it goes from medieval sounding musicians into some Good metal, good track. And the last track on this one is called Empty Opening. Strong track, some great guitar work on this one. Really enjoyed listening to this album. I think the production's got better, but that means the growling is a bit more coherent. You can hear what's going on. It's not as coarse as in them early albums, so this is a pretty good album. And I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 6 out of 10. Oh, got to the top 10. Let's have a drink. Right, coming in number 10, we got the 14th album. So it's the most current one, and it came out in 2022, and it's called Halo. So it's Tommy Utzon, Essa, Tommy, Ollie, Santiri's still on the keyboards, and Iain's bashing the drums. First track is North Winds. Now this is a mixture of a gritty growl and a good strong lyric. I love this. It's really got a lot of depth. Then we get On Dark Waters, my favourite track. The drumming from Iain on here is terrific. And Santiri's keyboards just whistle around. And there's a little bit of a sound of a sitar on this as well. Very, very good track. The Moon, great vocal on here from Tommy Utzon, and it's got a great bass line from Ollie. Good bass player. Very melodic, almost like doing chords instead of just thump, thump, thump. Windmane, there's a little bit of growling on this one. It's a little bit harsher than what has been happening, but the clean vocal is great. So you got that nice mixture. It does work. Then we get A New Land, another great good song, one of my favourites. The vocals, the guitars, SA's guitar solo on here is excellent. He is a very good guitar player and very underrated, I think. When the Gods Came, some great riffs both from Tommy and Essa on this. Iain's drumming. I love that sort of rolly double bass on this. Seven Roads Come Together, typical Scandinavian rock. It does what it says on the tin. That double bass thumping away sort of gets into your good track. Then we have a track called War. Very aggressive. You just don't know what's going on though. It's a bit busy. And then we get the title track, Halo. I love this. It's got a female guest vocalist on here called Noah Grumman, and she sings with Stardust. She's got a lovely voice, and it's a really nice song. Then we got The Wolf, probably one of the best guitar solos I've heard from Essa. Absolutely dramatic, symphonic, great track. My Name Is Night. We got vocals from Petrona, who's another good singer. She's from the Symphonic Rock Centre. Very, very good. And this is an excellent album. There is not a bad track on here. I enjoyed listening to this one immensely. And I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 6.5. Okay, then coming in at number 9, we got the 12th album from 2015. It's called Under the Red Cloud. This was the last album for bassist Niklas Eteldevori. So it's Tommy, Essa, Tommy, Niklas, Santiri's still on the keyboards, and Iain's on the drums. First track on here, Under the Red Cloud. Now, for a band that's from Finland, this is very Celtic. It sounds more if they're an Irish band or a Scottish band. I like this track a lot. It's excellent. One of my favourites on this album. The Four Wise Ones. It's one of them dramatic, symphonic, Scandinavian sort of epics that they're going. It's only 4 minutes long, but they get so much in. It's got a great atmospheric intro. In come the riffs. The drumming's good and it just slowly builds up. This is an excellent track. Bad Blood. Some more magical guitar here from Essa. The guitar work on this is great. A little bit of vocals good as well. Excellent track. The Skull starts off with a bit of a growl, and I don't know if it's an actual Hammond organ, but it's got that richness of a Hammond organ. Absolutely killer track that is. Gritty vocal, I like that. Death of a King. This has got sort of that Easter, Eastern mystique start with the guitar, and I do like the growl on this. It sort of gives it a little bit of atmosphere. Then we get Sacrifice, just a typical sort of Scandinavian symphonic metal sound. The intertwine of guitars and keyboards, the great drum beat, really is a good track. Then Dark Path. I love it when you get these gritty riffs and then you get some gentle piano, and I like that. I love piano in symphonic rock metal, really good. Enemy at the Gates, another dramatic start. Gentle, and then boom, everything comes in. The gritty vocal. Then we get the Tree of Ages. I love this, my favourite track. Tin Whistles, so Celtic. So it's a combination of a lot of mystic, medieval, Scandinavian metal. Fantastic track. Then the White Knight. Now this ends with a more traditional melodic rock track. The drums are fantastic from Iain on this. Very good. Another good album from this band. Very solid. They are consistent with their output. A very, very enjoyable album. And I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 6.6. Okay, coming in at number 8. We have the 8th album, Silent Waters, and the lyrics are English translations of the Finnish poems written by Pekka Kainluinen, who wrote them based on the character of Lemminkäinen in the Kavela. So it's Tommy Essa, Tommy Utzon on the vocals, Tommy and Essa on the guitar, Niklas on the bass guitar, Santeri on the keyboards, and Iain on the drums, and backing vocals done by a certain Marco Eltala from Nightwish. So the first track is called Weaving the Incarnation. I love this. It's got someone rowing in a boat. It's mystical, it's atmospheric. The keyboard on this is fantastic. What a track. Then we get A Servant. Excellent track again. The guitar work, Essa, is great. I love Tommy's guitar work on it. They sort of really know each other. They've been playing together for years. They sort of play off each other brilliantly. Then we get Silent Waters. Classical start of the progressive metal track. Got cellos, guitars, piano, great drumming, a fantastic vocal. One of my favourite tracks by the band. It is stunning. Towards and Against. Interesting sort of electronic sounds on here, like the bass. It's very electronic. Really works. Some nice little riffs here. Great little solo from ISO and some nice licks. Solid track. Eye of Crimson Blood. Very slow melodic track. The guitar riffs are really strung on this. It's a bit different from Amorphis, and it works. Then we have Her Alone, which is another slowish song. I love the twin guitar work on this. One of the most melodic tracks I think this band have ever done. It's a terrific track. Enigma, acoustic song. Absolutely brilliant. I love acoustics. Now, Shaman, again, the mixture of acoustic and electric guitars really works. I do love it when they combine both guitars. Then we get The White Swan. Great bass line from Nicholas. Essa's guitar work is brilliant. Black River ends the album melodic. Some great power chords, a great vocal. A solid album from top to bottom. I like the mixture of different sounds and structures of these songs. We've got some heavy ones, we've got melodic, we've even got some acoustic on it, and it's got some great guitar solos throughout the whole album. So I shall give this one an RTO ranking of 7 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 7, after a sip of coffee, is The Beginning of Times, which is the 10th album, released in 2011. It's a concept album, and the central character are the songs of Väinämöinen, described as the band as the iconic hero of Finnish mythology. So we have got Tommy Hewson on vocals, Esa Tommy, Niklas Santori, and Iain on the drums. We've got the Savotti Choir, Netta Dahlberg singing, she's a female artist, Ikara Kari on the flute, and Marco again doing vocals, and he produced this album as well. So the first track on here is called Battle for Light. Wonderful little track. Mystique, lovely textures, great start. Mermaid. Marco, you can hear him on here. Marco's got a distinctive voice. It's got a great bass line. Some great drumming from Iain on this. Love this track. My Enemy. You can tell who does the production on this. It's very, very similar to Nightwish. Marco was involved in the production of the Nightwish albums. I love it. It's got a gritty vocal on it. Absolutely killer track. You I Need is our next track. The piano in this is really good. It gives it makes it something special. It's a lovely sound as well. Song of the Sage. Great guitar work on here. The highlight of this is the guitar solo from Esa. Fantastic. 3 words. Great track. The bass and the double bass drums follow each other's patterns all the way through. Absolutely killer. Reformation, my favourite track on here, and it's all to do with the piano and the drums. They're in tandem. Lovely track. Soothsayer, the gritty vocal and the response in the clean vocal. I like these sort of tracks when you've got this and then a really, really good track. On a Stranded Shore, a very gritty vocal, and then you get the clean vocal response. Again, I like, as I said, this is a really good song. I like that sort of between them. I've just said that twice, and that'll be so hard to edit out, so it's not being edited out. So On a Stranded Shore, again, it's got some nice guitar and keyboards in it. Escape, very dramatic. I like dramatics. Some lovely rolling drums. The guitar work is wonderful. Crack in the Stone, another dynamic start. The keyboards and the orchestra is brilliant. It's sort of, you can imagine a huge orchestra doing this. It's great. It's the highlight of the song. And then The Beginning of Time. Some lovely keyboards on this. I like the different tones and textures on the keyboards. It's got some harpsichord sound in it, and then Esa comes in with a great little guitar solo. I love this album. It's one of them albums though you play all the way through being a concept. I'm really into mythology and Nordic mythology, and it's an interesting subject, so I sort of get half of this. It's a great album, so I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 7.2. Okay, coming in at number 6, go to the 11th album from 2013 called Circle. So it's Tommy who does the vocals, Esa and Tommy on the guitars, Nicholas on the bass, and Thierry on the keyboards, and Iain on the drums. We've got Maria M on vocals and Tucker Hellman on the cello. First track on this one is called A Shades of Grey. Not keen on the lyric on this one. It's probably a track that I'm not keen on. They're just, it's a little bit for me on the thing. Mission is good. My favourite track on this one. The vocal on this is absolutely amazing. Strong guitars, great drumming. What more do you need in a sort of Scandinavian type rock track? The Wanderer. Iain's double bass drums come through here. Really heavy. They sound great under the headphones. Great vocal here from Tommy. Super stuff. Narrow Path. We've got a bit of tin whistle on here. So it's got that sort of Celtic feel to it again. It works. Great guitar solo from Essa. Fantastic. Hope This Stays. The drums from Iain is great. They're sort of, it's that sort of double drum, and the toms sound great. Great bass line as well from Nicholas. Super little song that one is. Nightbird song, gritty vocals, not growling but gritty. The guitar solo on this from Essa is fantastic. In the Abyss. I love how the drum line actually follows the guitar riff. Very clever, and it works. You don't get that very often, that the drum follows the same sort of riff as the guitar. Enchanted by the Moon. Gritty vocals of church organ, which gives it that sort of eerie sort of feel. And then the last track, A New Day, my favourite track on here. Nicholas's bass line is pretty cool, and you got this great keyboard from Centauri that sort of oozes and whirls its way through the bass line. Very good track to end the album. Solid again. Some really strong tracks on this. I love listening to this. I've listened to it quite a few times now, and I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 7.4. Okay, coming in number 5, we've got the 6th album, and it is Far From the Sun, and it's the first album to feature Iain again since 1994, replacing Pekka Kalsari, who had quit the band to spend more time with his family, and it was their last album to feature Paisley on the vocals. So it's Paisley on the vocals, Essa and Tommy, Nicholas on the bass, Santeri and Iain on the drums. First track on this one is called Day of Your Beliefs. I like this. You've got a sort of a Mexican spaghetti western start, and I love Paisley's vocal on that. Planetary Misfortune. Love the keyboard. It's got that very 70s keyboard, Deep Purple, Uriah Heep sort of sound. And that's why I like it. I think it just adds to it. Evil Inside. Some really evil sort of sounding, eerie guitar work on this. I love the vocal from Paisley on this. Absolutely awesome. Morning Soil. The start of this has got some sort of one sort of sampling keyboard. You know, what's going on here? Then the guitars come in. You go, okay, bit different. And then the proper keyboard comes in. It's really good. It's very clever how they've sort of mixed metal with some modern sort of sampling. Far From the Sun. Now this is my favourite track on this, and it's just down to the guitar work. You've got this nice rhythm from Tommy. It's eerie. It's mystique. And then you get this stunning lead guitar from Essa. Ethereal Solitude is next. A little bit more modern top technology sampling sort of thing, and it works. It's melodic and it's got a great solo. Killing Goodness. That bit opening riff is just good old fashioned metal. Grinding away, powerful chords. Then the keyboard that comes on top of it just adds to it. Just a great track. God of Deception is next. This was a little bit different. It's more mainstream. It's more soft metal with driving power chords from both Tommy and Essa, so they've sort of got them set up so they sort of complement each other. Higher Ground. I like this. It's quite quirky. Great rock track. Smithereens is next. That's the last track. Very melodic, mystique, but the piano gives it that eeriness and sets the atmosphere. A great album with some melodic songs on it. Lots of different experimentation, and this is an exceptional album. They use modern technology and brought in things that you don't associate with this genre, and it worked. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.5. Okay, coming in at number 4, we've got the 13th album from 2018, and it's Queen of Time, and it's a return of Olli-Pekka Lane on the bass, and it's the first time since 1994 that the 4 original members played together on an album. So it's Tommy Hewson on vocals, Essa on the lead guitar, Tommy on the rhythm guitar, Ollie on the bass, Santeri on the keyboards, and Iain on the drums. First track on here is called The Bee. This is a really interesting thing. I like the long notes at the end of the verses on the lyrics. It's a good little track. Message in the Amber comes next. Iain's drumming on this is great. It's that typical sort of progressive metal, rolling drums, double drums, very mature growling, not the high-pitched stuff from the 90s. It's mature, and you can understand what they're saying, and it works. Daughter of Hate comes next. The opening riff of this reminds me of Def Leppard's Wooming. Oh, I love the church organ in this. I love church organs in rock. They really do add to it. It's a great vocal as well from Tommy. The Golden Elk, my favourite track. It's a great vocal from Tommy. And then you got the other Tommy's guitar riffs are great. And then you've got Essa's lovely little tones on top of that. Wrong Direction. I like the middle of this song. It sort of changes tempo very quickly. Very progressive. I love the drumming and the keyboards in that middle piece as well. It's fantastic. Heart of the Giant. I like the guitar on this. Got some Spanish at the beginning, and then when the drums come in, it's just that classic Scandinavian rock sound, and that's what I like about this style of metal. We're Accursed. Again, it's very Celtic. It sounds like, I don't know if it's Ulayan pipes or a keyboard sample of Ulayan pipes. It's really good. It's very Celtic, and then the church organ comes in. And what more do you need? It's just a great little track. Grain of Sand. What I like about this band at the beginning, some of the little intricate little guitar bits that open up the track from Essa are great. And here's another example of it. Again, we've also got a bit of that Spanish guitar sound going through it. And a little bit of growly, very good. Then we get Amongst Stars. Now this features Anneke van Giersbergen from the band The Gathering. Reminds me of Epica. She's got that same sort of gravelly Epica. It's that Epica sound, that high-pitched female, the grunt. It works. It's fantastic track. Pyres on the Coast, the last track. Dramatic guitar work here from Essa. Big sound, orchestral, growly, amorphous vocals. Great. A great album. I think this has got some of my favourite growly bits from this band. The guitar playing from Essa is just amazing. An all-round album, so I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 7.6. Coming at number 3 then, to the 9th album, Skyforger. Again, based on Finnish poems, based on the Kalevala. Tommy Hewson on vocals, Essa and Tommy on the guitars, Nicholas on the bass, Santeri on the keyboards, and Iain on the drums. First track is called Sampo. Good track. The drumming from Iain is great. Them rolling drums all the way through. Great vocal from Tommy. Silver Bride. Santeri's keyboards are great on this. It's a really nice tone to it and a fantastic vocal from Tommy. From the heaven of my heart. Love the structure of this one. Solid track. Everyone plays well on this. It's a fine vocal as well. Sky is Mine. Again, it's just got some great riffs. I like Tommy's sort of melodic playing riffs. You know, it's all about Essa and his guitar solos, but if it weren't for Tommy, it keeps the rhythm going. Very underrated rhythm guitar player. Great stuff. The drums are good on this as well. Majestic Beast. Some great growly vocals, and I think that his production's good on it. You can hear them. And I think if you hear them and what they're saying, it does make it more enjoyable. My Son comes next. This is more what I call the mainstream symphonic metal. It is actually my favourite track on here. You know, this is very commercial sounding, but it's really good. Highest Star, another melodic track, nice vocals, some nice backing vocals on this as well. Very solid track. The title track, Skyforger. Mythical Start. Some great guitar work from Essa on this one. Then the riffs from Tommy, it's just a good track. Course of Fate. The guitar solos on here are excellent. Some of Tommy's best little riffs as well. Essa's guitar solos, I said, it's really good. Then we get From the Earth I Rose. The sound on this, the keyboards that Santeri gets is fantastic. I just love his tones on this. Okay, this is quite a mainstream sounding, but it works, and I just like it. It's got some of Tommy's finest vocals, what he did with the band. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.8. Okay then, number 2. It's the 5th album, and it's called Universum. And this was a departure from the Doomstoner metal influence. And it's the first album that Nicholas played on, and it was the last that Pekka Kazi drummed on. So the vocals on this one are Paisley, Koskine or Koshin, Essa, Tommy, Nicholas, Santeri, and Pekka on the drums. Session musicians here, we've got Sakari Kuto on saxophone and Anatti Hulan. First track on here is called Alone, and just like the Heart version, Heart song, it's got some sultry piano at the beginning, and you just wonder what's going on. Then it starts building up. In come the riffs, driving away. Excellent opening track. Goddess of a Sad Man. Now Pekka's drumming on this is absolutely amazing. All the drummers that have drummed in this band have been good. It's an important part of this band structure, I think, the drumming. Them double bass drums, the rolling of it. Really good track. The Night is Over. Lovely, rich, sort of Hammond organ swirls. A great guitar solo from Essa. Bass line from Nicholas is just amazing. It's a good track. Shatters Within. Lovely piano work here on this. It just works. Lovely. I just like how that one builds up. Crimson Wave. Now there is some saxophone on this, and it absolutely is great. Who would have thought heavy metal and saxophone? But it works. It's a great little track. Drifting Memories is the next. Very melodic. One of Essa's finest guitar solos. That's why I love it. Forevermore. Nice effects on the guitars. Different sort of tones at the beginning and a bass line to die for. Solid track. My favourite track on this one is Veil of Sin. Saxophone and piano, sort of thing you wouldn't expect to hear on a symphonic metal band. I think the saxophone solo is brilliant. It's very and some places this is very Van de Graaff generator. It's very melodic. It's a great track. Captured State is next. Solid track. The combination of Tommy on the guitar and Nicholas on the bass is great. They sort of seem to be glued in. And then Essa comes on top and just adds that extra little bit of depth. Then the last track on here is called Grief-Stricken Heart. Great opening to this track. Synthesizery and melodic bass line. Absolutely killer track. A really good album. The saxophone on here just really works. You never thought it would happen, but it has. Metal and saxophone. It was a great idea, and I love this album. And I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10. Now, before we go into my number one album, I've really enjoyed listening to this band, and I'm really starting to get into them. Now, my number one is the album that was the first album I went back and played again, and then I put it on again and I just can't get enough of this album. It's the fourth album, and it's called Tuonela. And it's the first album to feature Santeri on the keyboards. It was the last time we had Ollie on the bass until he came back in 2018. So it's Paisley on the vocals, Tommy rhythm guitar, Essa lead, Ollie bass, Pekka on the drums. Session musician is Santeri. This is the first time we played with them. And we've got Sakari Kuto on the saxophone again and flute. So the first track on here is called The Way. Love this. The keyboard at the beginning is fantastic. Then this lovely melodic thing. Absolutely killer track to start off with. Morning Star. The saxophone on this is amazing. The guitars come alongside it, and it's got a great guitar solo from Essa. Then we get the title track Tuonela or Tuonela. We've got saxophone, we've got Hammond organ. Oh, great guitar work again, a great vocal from Paisley. Love that track. Greed, probably the best groundly vocal of this band. It just is evil. I think this is playing that and a bit of the Greed. It's a great solo from Essa as well. Divinity, a great bass line from Ollie. Drives the song along. It's probably his best, for me it's his best ever bass line or bass work that he's done on a song. Shining, again, Ollie shines on this, but the drums from Pekka, absolutely dynamite. Again, it's probably one of his best drumming tracks he ever did. Withered, atmospheric, ambient. The keyboards are fantastic. My favourite track, I've just hit the microphone again, so it's made an awful clunk. Rusty Moon. This is certainly one of them. It's got a bit of flute. This is what I call heavy metal meets Jethro Tull. It's got the sort of melodic of a Jethro Tull, but with a bit more grunty guitar than Martin Barr's. I love this track. One of my favourite tracks by the band. I think it's just very, very different, and it works. Summer's End is the next track. Apart from the great driving riffs, the keyboard. It's the way that the chord changes halfway through, and it's a real long track. And I just like how at the end it just fades away into nothing, like all great prog tracks do. Why is this my favourite Amorphis album? Because it's got so many diverse sort of music. We've got flutes on here, we've got great guitars, saxophones, melodic, heavy, proggy, especially on that last track. It's just fantastic. I love playing this album. It's definitely one of my favourite albums. It is my favourite album, but it's one of the albums that I keep wanting to play. I've now listened to it all the way through under the headphones, and I just love it. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8.2. So there we go. Amorphis, a band that I didn't know much about, but now I really like them. Okay, I don't like their first few albums because it's just too much grunt for me. But they became this real melodic, symphonic metal band, and I love how it's all about mythology as well. Scandinavian, Finnish mythology. I like bands that follow that. They're a great band, and I've thoroughly enjoyed doing this one. Okay, that's all for today. But we'll be back tomorrow, and we've got another round of Battle Royale, and we have got Father Stack against Richard McCook. Father Stack has got Judas Priest, Defenders of the Faith. And Richard's got his favourite album of all time, Diamond Dogs, David Bowie. Should be an interesting one. And tomorrow, what else have we got? We're going to have a look at, in the camera's view, we're going to look at a DVD, and it's a great DVD from Kansas, and it's called Device Start Again in Device Voice Drum. It's a great live album, but this one also came out as a DVD, and it does feature Robbie Steinhardt on it, and it's absolutely fantastic. So that's what we'll be doing tomorrow. And also it's live stream day as well. So have a great day everyone, and bye for now.